Welcome to today's Where's the Trade? My name is Joshua Bellinger of OptionSizzle.com, and today we're going to look at Taser International. So I want to walk you through the option activity that I picked up on the 29th of November and the option activity today and break that down for you. So if we take a look here at the chart, when we look here and look to the left on the yearly time frame, this has performed very well. We had a very strong push here off of earnings, came into the 8 level, has been hovering around this level, holding the 750, which if you did a retracement of this high to low candle right here, I would assume that's about a 50% retracement on the fib. That's typically a good level to be able to hold. But on the 29th, this candle right here, it picked up very strong activity, which we'll take a look at in a second, but also look at today's activity and give you a little bit of a game plan of looking at it. So the interesting thing here is when we look at the option activity on the 29th, this was a red candle. When I see calls being bought and the implied volatility pushing higher on a day that is red after it pulls back from hitting a high, that gives me a good indication or a good idea that the buyers are coming in, are just playing for a bit of a pullback and potentially looking at those levels to move into. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that day of option activity that you have to jump in those calls. You can, but a lot of times I just use it as a indicator to set up potential trades, wait for that pullback to occur, then for it to level out and start moving higher. So if we look here, and if we go back to the 29th of November, you can see here that the January 10 calls were very active with buyers. If we take a look here at the March 10s, those are active as well. Open interest is exceeded, and we don't see anything in the June, but what this tells me right here, when we come into the December time frame and they're coming into January, this is a blueprint. This tells me, okay, they're looking for the longer term, the next 50 to 100 days for prices to move higher or move into those levels. So this is what I posted to my premium members, and this is my analysis of what I thought here. Now, the downgrade to me is a good thing, because the downgrade I actually think is opposite, is that they're downgrading the shares. They're probably trying to take up profits. But Taser in general, that pullback and with the downgrade sets up for a good potential move higher or even squeeze for a play higher. So you can see here where the buyers were coming in January at 25 cents, and then the Marches were at 35 cents. And, here's my analysis in suggesting that it would be a good idea potentially to look to play the January strike. If we take a look at today's activity, today's overall option volume was 3 times the normal. Most of it, obviously, you could see here in the call contracts. But when we look at the volume, notice that the 750s here, we're seeing some interest as well, and that is going to increase open interest. 55% of those traded on the offer. And we're seeing some January 1250s seeing a little bit of action as well. And then even some the March 10s, which I actually think this is going to increase. Now, when I look at the March contracts here, they traded 40% bid, 50% ask. So we'll have to see where the open interest is going to increase to tomorrow. But with that option activity, going back and looking for a setup, again, looking, having that little bit of a dip. Now we see it turn back higher. This is where you have that written down information using the option activity and knowing that this likely could be a magnet area, the $10 level, and the $10 level on the March contracts as well, where prices could gravitate to. We're starting to see prices hold that level and start moving into. So instead of having to sit in those contracts all this time, you can actually get them a little bit cheaper in the January contracts than what you would have before. Now, if you had the longer term ones, the Marches, because they're further out, you have a little bit more of a profit as the time is eroded on this one. So here's what I would like for you to do now. Make sure you click subscribe if you haven't. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment below. Tell me why you liked it, why you did not like it. And if you found the information to be valuable and you think that there's someone else out there that you know that could use the information or find the information valuable, make sure you click the share icon here and share the video with them.